Welcome back to Leeds Lately. I had to do it, didn't I? Had to make a Big Sam tactics video. Welcome to the Allardyce tactics video, and basically my thoughts on whether it will work and keep Leeds United up. So before we get into it, if you could just hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well, that would really help me out. But like I say, today's video is going to be about Sam Allardyce's tactics. Javi Gracia has been relieved of his duties after just 8 games in charge. Couple of months anyway, not a very long tenure whatsoever. And Victor Orta, since I last uploaded, has also left the club by mutual consent. Probably time to go for Orta. I said many times before, I think Bielsa papered over the cracks at this club, and I don't think his recruitment was very good. And when it was kind of accidents that made it happen. So Rafinha was a panic, well, not a panic buy, but a buy at the end of the window when they didn't think he was going to be available, and suddenly came up and was offered. Nonto was an accident, really, and some of the other players have been fortunate for him to come good, and the ones where he has put all his eggs in one basket and said this person will be amazing, they haven't worked out. So Orta's gone, probably the right thing to do, definitely the right thing to do, and hopefully we can rebuild from next season. But as of right now, the biggest thing that's happened is that Big Sam Allardyce is now the Leeds United manager, and how far we have fallen. Allardyce has obviously had a good career. Okay, he's done many good things in his career, right? But the way that Leeds United have paraded themselves around as this attacking football, this beautiful football club, which obviously Bielsa gave us the opportunity to do so. But after that, we've still thought ourselves a bit too high and mighty to go for the obvious manager or to go for the obvious players. Hence what I was talking about with Victor Orta, going for obscure players and trying to revitalise their careers. And Big Sam Allardyce is the complete antithesis of everything that Leeds United at board level have said that they've wanted to have as a manager over the last couple of years. He's literally had a podcast called No Tippy Tappy Football because he doesn't want to play passing football. He doesn't want to play out from the back, anything like this, which is obviously is completely the opposite of what this club have said. So obviously this is a big old panic move. And it was anyway, because 4 games to go, we've sacked a manager that we brought in to save us, and brought in Big Sam. But let's get straight into the tactics. So let's get into the tactics then. This is going to be very basics, back to basics football. So this section actually probably won't be too long. This is probably what you got told at school, at amateur football as a kid, and then amateur football as an adult as well, if any of you have played non-league football, amateur Sunday league sort of football like I have. He's basically going to play a 4-4-2. So who will play in these positions then? So you've basically going to have his strongest 2 centre-backs that he thinks he can put in there. So that'll definitely be Verba and maybe Cooper as well, I would expect. And they're also going to be expected to play long balls forward. So you might be expecting that Verba would take on that responsibility, or Cooper would try to as well, because we've seen Cooper can do that in the past. You probably have Rasmus or Ayling, not sure, whichever one he trusts more defensively there. And then at left back, you might even see somebody like Strout come back in, or Verba go to left back and Strout goes to centre back. Just basically, he's going to pick his strongest two central defenders who are going to try and hit the ball forward. And these two are not going to be attacking options. They are basically going to be, the only reason that they will come out is if the ball comes down here to a winger and we're out of position, we've got to then cover up that. That's the only reason why we'd get it. If the winger is out there and they don't have the ball, we will just be leaving them and letting them come in, and that's when we then mark them. It's going to be a low block. We're only going to try and win the ball when it gets into these dangerous attacking areas and our midfield areas. The 2 midfielders then are going to be maybe Forshaw and Rocker, you would expect, or he might bring McKennie in, but his idea is to win a lot of second balls. So you'll need one player who's Rocker, probably our best passer, who can sit deep in this position here and play long balls over the top to the strikers. So let's actually put this in a game situation now. Say that we have the ball. This is the sort of thing that you'll be expecting to see. So we'll have 2 up front. So the 2 up front are probably going to be Bamford, because he's the one that can win headers, the only one who's really got any hold-up play. And maybe Rodrigo off him, maybe Nonto off him. he basically needs somebody to get the knockdowns. And then on the wings, you're actually going to have inverted wingers. So probably Harrison on the right to cut inside, curl it in with his left, and maybe Somerville or Nonto on the left for them to get in and curl the ball into the box that way as well. So the idea is that if Leeds have possession, they're not going to play out from the back. If the centre-back has the ball, he will try to ping it up long, either to the winger, down the channels, or he will try to ping it into the striker, Bamford, who will then be able to knock it down to his strike partner, who, in theory, is then going to get in on goal. And we've seen that this can work. I mean, it's not a very pretty way of playing football, but we've seen that it can work because it worked against Jesse Marsh teams. It always worked against Jesse Marsh because we were left exposed at the back by a big man who was able to knock it down because we weren't winning the headers. So that's the idea with that, basically. And if this centre-back can't do that, he's also got the option of passing it to Mark Rocker as well, who is going to be the sort of distributor from midfield. So he's going to try and ping it up to these positions as well, aiming for that front man, or if it's on, for the channels for the wide man to get it. And there's going to be a lot of trying to cross it into the box, percentage balls. Like I said, it's not going to be pretty. We are going to be playing football where we are just trying to put it into the final third and hope for the best. The main thing is that we will be trying to defend. So when we go into the defensive phase, like I said, we'll be quite narrow. We'll have all our 4 defenders back here. We'll have our 2 midfielders there. We'll have our 2 strikers here. And then you have your wingers here, and we are going to set up in basically your traditional 2 banks of 4, which you are taught at school in amateur football, like I said. So let's say that the opposition are waiting to attack up here, and they're going to be like so, and then they have the ball at the back. When they are playing out from the back, we are basically going to sit off them, unless we feel like we can actually cause them issues. Now, I saw a video where Sam Allardyce was actually talking about when West Ham beat Liverpool 3-1 back in the day when he was the West Ham manager. He was talking about the fact that he knew that Brendan Rodgers liked to play out from the back. So what he did was he actually went up and went man for man with all of their players, basically not allowing them any options to pass the ball. And what this did was it completely pinned Liverpool in their own half. So he is actually adaptable depending on what the situation of the other team. There's been other games where I think it was against Spurs. He'd pointed out that he couldn't. He knew that the Spurs defenders weren't very good at defending third-man runs and late runners into the box, but they were pretty comfortable with out-and-out strikers. So we actually took his striker out of the team and just played Ricardo Vazte, who, if you remember him, was more of like a number 10, not an actual out-and-out striker. And a lot of the players were making late runs in, and Spurs weren't really able to deal with them. So he is actually quite tactically clever in those situations, but he just knows the limits of what a club at the bottom of the league can do, and he basically wants to ensure that they are as defensively tight as possible, which brings us back to this situation. So you've got your 2 holding midfielders here, which will basically be 2 midfielders in the middle of the park, but they'll both be holding midfielders, and a lot of the time we'll actually bypass them. But they are there to pick up any second balls that come from the midfield and then play balls forward for us to attack again. So they do have utility. There is a reason for them being there. But a lot of the time they'll get bypassed. We won't really try to play through the defence and then out through the midfield into the attack, which you have seen before under other managers that we've had in recent times. So yeah, we'll be quite tight, we'll be defensive, we'll be in a 4-4-2, and we're going to create minimal chances. Now, this is one of the key areas I wanted to talk about. We are going to create minimal chances. When we can get the ball forward into somebody like Bamford or Nonto, Rodrigo, whoever that may be, we are going to create minimal chances, and a part of his philosophy is quality in the final third. Now, this is the biggest drawback and the reason why I don't think we will win any games under Sam Allardyce. We might win one. We might win against West Ham or whatever, but why it's not a proven solution for us and it's not guaranteed to work is because he expects quality and clinical finishing in the final third, because he wants it to the point where you're going to keep a clean sheet, but you're only then going to create a couple of chances per game, 2 or 3 chances, and you need to take one of them to win a game of football if you're going to keep a clean sheet. So we are then relying on the likes of Bamford for quality in the final third, and just that sentence, we are relying on Bamford for quality in the final third, will send shivers down Leeds fans' spines all over the globe. Bamford is not clinical, and none of our players really are, other than Rodrigo has been this season. But even then, some of his chances he's missed as well haven't been great. And I just think that this system, okay, yeah, it could get us some clean sheets, but when you look up at the other end of the pitch, do we have the quality to finish those minimal amount of chances? I don't think we do. The other problem at the other end of the pitch is, okay, yeah, you can set us up in a certain formation, you can set us up in a certain way to not concede goals, but we've still got the same defenders who've conceded all those goals this season. And in 4 games, are we really going to turn that around and be a really solid defensive unit when we just don't have the players to do it? We've got Verba, who is a very good defender. Other than that, I don't think we've got any defenders who you could put in a back four and expect to keep clean sheets. I rate some of our defenders, but I think you could only have one, a push 2 of them in a back four and keep clean sheets consistently. As in, you would have to add at least 2 players from signings to this defence for us to actually consistently keep clean sheets. So I worry about the personnel that we've got at the back, and I worry about the personnel that we've got at the front, which to me is why this isn't a good signing, getting Sam Allardyce in. He's saved teams before. He's saved 4 teams from relegation, but he's also gone in at West Brom, which was his last job in 2021, and got them relegated. Now, West Brom didn't have the quality that we have in our side, and they went down and they conceded a lot of goals, us being 5 of them in one game. I think we beat them 3-1 on the final day as well, didn't we? When there was a few fans left back in the stadium. But anyway, we basically put 8 goals past them that season, and they weren't great at all. And that was his last job. And so he's been 2 years. He's now coming back out of, well, wasn't really retirement, but nobody had offered him a job, and now he's got to save us within these 4 games. And I don't think it's possible. I don't think it is possible for any manager to save us. I really do think now that we're going down. And if you've watched this channel for a while, you know I'm always Mr. Positivity, but after that Bournemouth game, you could probably see on the watch-along, anybody who was in that, I was just so down about it. And I wasn't actually going to make any midweek videos this week because I just thought I stuffed a lot of it. I don't want anything to do with Leeds United until we play again. And then I will be watching and supporting. But yes, big news has come out. This has all happened. And people have asked me for a tactics video. Now, you're probably expecting more in depth than this, but that is what he's going to come in and do. He's not going to come in and have reams and reams of tactics and stuff to go through. It's just going to be keep it simple, play simple football, go back to basics, 2 banks of 4, 2 holding midfielders who can win second balls and play forward, 2 strong centre-backs, one of which will be expected, at least one of which will be expected to play the ball forward, narrow fullbacks who aren't going to go out and attack, are going to stick in and try and help that defensive unit. Then you've got a striker who's good at hold-up play to knock it down for his strike partner who's probably a bit more mobile, and then on either wing you've got inverted wingers to try and cross balls into the box and try and get that percentage football where you're just playing balls in the box in the hope that somebody's going to get on the end of it. But yes, that is what Big Sam is going to come in and do at Leeds United. Those are the tactics that Big Sam is going to employ, and like I've said, I don't think it saves us. I'll be happy if it does, and I'll thank the man if it does, but I don't think it's going to save us. I think it's too little too late, and I think we're going down. But hit that subscribe button because there'll be more content on the way. I'll be doing a live watch along of the Man City game, so come and join me back on the channel for that. And like I said at the start, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and that notification bell so you never miss an upload. There's also a join button down below. All the information is alongside that. If you want to contribute to the channel, that'll be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, that's the end of the video, and I'm really nervous for this Man City game. See you next time on Leeds Lately.